Thank you for coming today. 2020 was a year like no other. I was glad that it ended for many reasons. Personally and professionally, I was ready for 2021. Then shortly after it began, my father died and Snowvid hit. But I also became president and CEO of the Greenville Chamber. I built and moved into a new home. So in the midst of unhappiness, good things still happened. And I'm determined for 2021 to focus on the inspiring, the good, and the positive, personally and professionally. And so because of those three words, inspire, positivity, and good, I inspire all of you to find the good this year and make it positive. Because when you are positive, good things do happen. My name is Shelby Corrales, and I'd like to welcome you today and thank you for attending our March quarterly membership luncheon. Yay. At this time, I would like to introduce the greatest chamber staff ever, Lonnie Schoenfeld and J.C. Wade.
Thank you, Shelly. My name is Lonnie Schoenfeld. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. And, I am the Director of Membership for the Greenville Chamber of Commerce. I know everything there is to know about Chamber membership, and I base that on my weeks of experience in the position. I want to start out by thanking our partner members of the Chamber, the upper level partners. Even during the financial difficulties of COVID-19, they've continued to support the Chamber and the business community, and we are grateful for that beyond words. Coming out of COVID, Greenville deserves a strong and a vibrant chamber, and under the leadership of Shelby Corrales, we are working hard to make sure that happens, and it's because of our partner level members that we're able to continue to provide for the community, so we thank them so very much. Now, having said that, I want to emphasize that every single member of the chamber is vitally important to us, regardless of the membership level. Before I became the Director of Membership, I was a member of the Chamber for 3 years at the basic level. And I know that there's been times in the past where some members at the basic levels haven't felt like their voice has been as valued as some of the other levels of membership. That could not be further from the truth. Every single member is important to us. We want to make sure that you know that. Now, we're going to do our best to visit every single member, not only with the three of us, but with the help of our amazing ambassadors who do so much incredible work, we couldn't do it without them. But we want you to take advantage of your membership. We do not want you to pay your dues and we don't see you again until you get an invoice for next year. That's not how we want it. We want you to be as involved in the chamber as you want to be. We want you to get tremendous value out of your membership. Now, I'm not going to speak for very long because I know the mayor is going to talk and he needs a lot of extra time. Mayor, if you're wondering if you speak too long, just look over at me. If my eyes are rolling back in my head, you'll know. But I want to thank all of you. I've only been in the position for 2.5 months, still learning a lot, and I'm learning it not only from Shelly and from JC and working with them, but from all of our members. They are so incredible. We love them, and we want you to reach out to us at the Chamber anytime you have a question, even if it's a complaint. We want to know about it because we want to make it better for you. So thank you. Give us a call anytime and enjoy this luncheon. Thank you.
How's everyone doing? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is J.C. Wade. I am the Marketing and Communications Director for Greenville Chamber of Commerce. I was born and raised here in Greenville, Texas, and I went to Greenville High School. I was a fourth-generation Flaming Flash, and I was also colonel of the Flaming Flashes my senior year of high school, which was 2016 and 2017. I am currently attending Texas A&M University Commerce and will be graduating this May with my bachelor's degree in general business. While 2020 had its ups and downs, I can certainly say I'm set on making 2021 a better year. I started this position at the Chamber a little under a month ago, and I can say I have learned a lot from Shelly and Lonnie both. I handle all our social media pages, as that includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I also send out all e-blasts and the Friday newsletter from the Chamber. If you ever want anything specifically posted to our social media or added to the newsletter, just give me a call at the Chamber and I can help you out. I appreciate the opportunity to join with the other professionals at the Chamber as we continue our efforts to expand and promote businesses in Greenville, furthering our legacy to our community. Thank you.
Before we begin with the mayor and the judge, I would like to recognize some people in the room today. So please raise your hand, stand up, shout out when I call your name. So Chamber board members, Stinson Sanders, Willie Morgan, Richard Carter. I don't know if y'all can hear when you're clapping, but that's great. Vinay Hudson, Holly Gray, Katie Ridge, Kelly Bullock, Miranda Spencer, Mayor David Dreiling, and Judge Bobby Stovall. Chamber ambassadors that are in the room today: Rose Hayden, Trina Coldiron, Violet Atkins, Vinay Hudson, Eleanor Hill, Katie Ridge, Alyssa Davis, Leanne Bledsoe, Luann Dickens, Willie Morgan, Gloria Jordan, Kalina Crossley, Tracy Fenton. I also want Alicia Hooks to stand up. She's a board member and in charge of finances for the board, so. This year's Hunt County Leadership Class: Bridget Saxton, Alyssa Davis, Lindsay Yost, Chris Mangwell, Willie Morgan, Tiffany Franzoni, and Roxanne Turner. At this time, I just want to recognize our partners that Lonnie was talking about earlier that are in the room. L3 Harris is our platinum partner, diamond partner, Family First Home Health. Silver partners: American National Bank, Money Law Firm, a First American Title Office, Cornerstone Insurance, Hunt Regional Healthcare, Lone Star Credit Union, Heritage Home, Health and Hospice, Remax 3D Real Estate, and GEUS. Thank you for being a partner. Greenville Board of Development is also in the house with Holly Gray and Mark Scott. Campbell Economic Development, Dr. Dave Giles. City of Greenville City Council members: Mayor David Dreiling, Jerry Ransom. I think that's about it that's here for them. So, City of Greenville City Manager Summer Spurlock. GISD Board Member Roger Livingston. Hunt County Judge Bobby Stovall. And Senator Bob Hall's office, Beth Purcell. At this time, I would like to give a big thanks to Barbara Horan for allowing the Chamber to hold this event in this beautiful venue that we are so proud to have here in Greenville, Texas. So Barbara, would you like to say a few words?
Thanks, Shelly. I cheat. Okay. I can get this. I'm a motivational speaker. I got my own text. Okay, welcome to my house. I'm Barbara. I have to do housekeeping things. People who grew up here know that there's bathrooms behind that brown curvy wall out there. They're not ADA compliant. Those people up there have their own restroom. No, they just go down the hallway. Those are not ADA compliant. If you think you're going to get stuck in there, take your phone, call us. We'll make sure you get back in here. That is an exit. You know the Henson building's next door, but there's a pathway to go around behind. You pop out on Wesley Street if you go out that. So all of this down here, go that way. And lunch is, because we're working on it, stuffed chicken, stuffed with cream cheese and spinach and stuff in there, zucchini, mixed zucchinis, veggies, smashed potatoes, and then dessert is chocolate, peanut butter, chocolate brownie. Sort of like a Reese's. And it should be on its way. And one other thing I want to tell you about this is 100%. You know, they say we could go back to 100%. This is, even though I took a bunch of tables out of here, and I stood up here and went, wow, I like that better. So I've liked it for a year, and I think I'm not going back. So it'll be 78 seats. I told you 76. We figured out it's 78 seats is all I'm going to have in here forever, as far as I know. And they're all spread out because I don't like strangers sitting in my lap. And the one last thing is during COVID, I started the entertainment club. It's sort of like a golf club, but instead of golf, you become a member and you get to come to shows. You get free tickets, you rent the theater for free, all that by being a member. And we have the coffee club, and you get to be a member of the coffee club if you're in the entertainment club, which means you get a free coffee or a free drink. Coffee sounds cool, but you can get tea or soda if you want. So those are all mine now. Thank you so much for filling up the house. It's beautiful to see a bunch of people. Thank y'all.
At this time, we are going to hear from our 5 sponsors for today's luncheon. So the first is our table partner, Shelby Romans with Heritage Home Health.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am a brand new face here, so if you don't know me, that's okay. My name is Shelby Romans. I'm with Heritage Home Health and Hospice. If you have not heard of us, we're really just now getting started and doing boots on the ground marketing here in Hunt County. We were formerly Abacus Home Health. That name might be more familiar to you. We were Abacus Home Health and then Heritage Hospice, and the two powerhouses decided to join teams, and here we are today. So we have a stellar reputation in Hopkins County. That's where most of our growth has been the past few years. But again, we're really excited to join all of these events in Hunt County. We're really excited to grow here and to help serve our senior community here. I'm a Hunt County gal myself, so this feels more like home to me. So I'm really excited to be here, and I look forward to meeting all of you very soon. Thank you.
Our next table partner is Kim Simmons with Lone Star Credit Union.
Good afternoon. I'm with Lone Star Credit Union. I've only been at the credit union 4 years, and any of y'all have heard me speak before. I tell you that I get really excited about the credit union, and sometimes you have to throw water on me because I get overly excited. But we had the best year ever, 2020. So even though COVID came, we have a CEO and a board of directors that has been very forward in making sure that we have all kinds of technology. So we were able to continue to serve our members without any interruption whatsoever. So that makes me very proud because we were able to help more people and still keep our city and state safe and our members and our employees safe. So I want you to know that the credit union is not just what some people think of as maybe where you go put your little savings or you open a savings account for your child to experience having a savings account. We are the biggest consumer loan lender. We have the best rates on car loans. We have good rates on all the other types of consumer loans. We help people with boats, fifth wheels, motorcycles, RVs, tractors, lawnmowers, you come to me, I will help you. We don't do land. There's somebody else in town who does that, but we can help you with all types of loans. And the part of the lending that we do is very personal. We're small enough to where if somebody needs something that's not within the rules, the guidelines, we have a small enough team that we can go all the way to our CEO and get an approval. We can do things for our members that are not within the rules, not within the guidelines. An example would be, I just had a member who had their car loan with us. Their transmission blew on their car, so now they have virtually a car that is worth nothing unless they get it fixed. They don't have the money to get it fixed. They came to us, and we loaned them the money to fix the car using the non-valuable vehicle as the collateral. So that's not something we do for every single person, but that member had been with us for 26 years. They had a good relationship with us. They had borrowed before, and they've never not done what they're supposed to do. So those are the types of relationships we build. Those are the types of things we do. We think outside the box. We do things the smart way. We do it fast, and we build loyalty from our members that way. So if you've never been a member of a credit union, look into it. Think about joining a credit union, even if it's not our credit union, but we're the best. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Our next table partner is Gail Sprinkle with Uptown Forum.
We travel in packs. Come on up, Eleanor. So I am Gail Sprinkle, and I own Uptown Forum in downtown Greenville. And I have brought a couple of tenants with me, and I want them to say a few words, and then I'm going to wrap up. And so I'm going to turn it over to Eleanor.
Oh my goodness. Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Eleanor Hill. I'm founder and CEO of Britex Beyond. Whoops.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready to rock. So Britex Beyond is a new branch of Britex Bubbles LLC. This is my company that I started when I was 19, and we provide professional cleaning services for commercial and residential using eco and pet-friendly products to meet our clients' tailored needs. In our third year of operation, we are so excited to be partnering with ProGuardium Optimum Solutions and Texas Medical Technologies as one of our new disinfecting systems. And we would like to thank our clients and some of the people who have helped us along our way. So Lonnie Schoenfeld, Voice Print Promos, R.W. Holloman, Azion Inc., Fannie Trait, ProGuardium Optimum Solutions, Violet Atkins, Serve Pro, Troy Rackley, Texas Medical Technology, and Richard Irvin with Sonic Enterprises. Whew. And thank you to all of you for being here today. We're so excited, especially Uptown Forum.
Thank you, Eleanor. This is the next slide.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Hebert, and I'm the owner of Lenore Cole in Uptown Forum. And what we do is specialize in artisan-made gifts. The majority of the store is handmade in the United States. I carry a lot of locally made gifts as well. So we have candles, jewelry, pottery. There's a list up there, and I completely forgot what I do. So I forgot what I was saying. I'm so sorry.
All kinds of artisan
Yes, we
gifts.
artisan gifts, lots of handmade things. So come by if you ever need a gift and come say hi.
They're gorgeous. Thank you. Uptown Forum really supports entrepreneurs. So you'll find a lot of entrepreneurs at Uptown Forum starting their businesses for the first time. And this is one of our newest entrepreneurs. This is Cheesebro and Campbell Specialty Chocolates. They are going to open an Uptown Forum in the middle of April, but their chocolate is available now, next slide please, at the bookstore, at the Win the Willow bookstore. So as you know, Uptown Forum has retail on the first floor. We have a cafe, bookstore, gifts, and upstairs we have services, massage therapy. We have a salon, Britex Bubbles, of course. So we have personal services and business services as well. So please come down and visit us. And thank you very much to the Chamber for allowing us this opportunity to sponsor. This is my favorite chamber luncheon because we get to hear what's going on in the city. And so I really am looking forward to hearing Mayor Dreiling's talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you to those table partners. Next, I would like to introduce Jimmy Dickey, Marketing and Key Accounts Manager of GEUS and our advertising partner for today.
My task today is very easy because I'm here to thank y'all for allowing GEUS to provide you with the utility service, the community-owned utility services that you own. This is our 130-year anniversary of providing power to Greenville and our 20th anniversary for supplying internet. And this is what y'all task us to do, and we take that very seriously. Our goal is really pretty simple. There's three things that we need to achieve on a daily basis, and that's reliable service, good customer service, and competitive rates. Well, let me tell you, a couple of weeks ago during the extremely cold weather, all three of those were tasked very heavily. As far as reliable services, you can imagine the linemen in the top of those buckets up there in weather replacing fuses to keep that power on. And that was weather that they probably never will experience again. At the office, you saw customer service move quickly into a 24-hour service. We had reps working 12-hour shifts so that they could answer phone calls, they could answer emails, respond to social media. You had people performing the rotating outages, and that group, let me tell you, they were there in the office. They were sleeping in the floor of their offices. They were looking pretty haggard after a few days and wearing some wrinkled clothes, but they wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm proud to be a part of that team. We had power plant guys that were keeping that plant rolling out there and kept that going. As far as the competitive rates, I'm sure each of y'all have heard the disasters that are out there as far as companies that have gone bankrupt and individual homes that have received $7,000 and $9,000 electric bills. You're not going to see that in Greenville, Texas. And that's no accident. And I don't even consider... And I don't even consider it luck. Yes, we were lucky that the ice storm didn't come the first night, but that's where the luck stopped. That happens because of pre-planning. Alicia Hooks, our general manager, and through the directions of the GEUS board, puts that kind of stuff in place. We have a very diverse portfolio of our generation, and we've got a small but very diligent power supply team that works hard every day to manage that so that you don't have big bills like some people are getting in other things. So, one thing I ask of you to consider, this is our new Roundup program. And what is Roundup program? It's simple. If you choose to have your bill rounded up, we're talking cents. It would never be more than 99 cents a month, and it would never be less than a penny. Law of averages would tell you that would be 50 cents a month. You can choose to have that done, and that will be added to your bill each month to round it up. That money will go, the City Council and the GEUS Board is committed for that money to go to low-income friends and neighbors that we have. 50 cents does not sound like a whole lot from any of us, but together it will amount to some funds that will help out our community. Again, thank y'all very much for allowing us to provide you with the services we do.
Now I'll give a warm welcome to Rich Carter, President and CEO of Hunt Regional Healthcare, today's presenting partner.
Thank you, everybody, and it's always a pleasure to be here. Shelly's usually very nervous when I get in front of the podium because I told her I'd be talking for 20 minutes, but I'll try and keep it a little shorter than that. But it is interesting when you talk about healthcare. It's been an extremely, extremely challenging year for your hospital district because of COVID. And I think that doesn't surprise anybody. And while most everybody was shut down or slowed down during the year, our volumes for the most part were doubled. And so it was a very difficult year. We lost some people, but our volumes were extremely busy. We had to change the entire way we do things, from masking to closing down the front door and not letting you in, to following all the governor's orders and whatnot. So it was a very interesting year for us, but we have survived. We've done very well. your hospital district continues to grow and expand in every way possible. And we are very involved right now in the COVID testing business. We've given about 40,000 COVID tests. So that's almost 1 for every 2 people in the county of Hunt. And that's a big business for us as well. And right now we are in the vaccine business. And that's not something we asked to be in. But the state reached out and tapped us on the shoulder, and of course we said, yes, we will serve our community in every single way that we possibly can. We've given about 9,500 or so vaccines so far. About 4,500 of you have received both vaccines, and about another 4,500 have received just one. So we are making strides at the very best we can to provide you with the health care we need. And as that goes, you may have noticed or have heard that we are starting a construction project. So our expansion program will be officially starting next Monday, and parking will be limited or more limited at the hospital than it has been in the past, where the back part of the hospital near the outpatient entrance will be roped off and secured for construction. But when that is finished, we will be developing a 2-story new facility that kind of wraps around the back of the outpatient hospital, and expanding our NICU and expanding our maternity services, expanding our surgical services, and expanding our physical therapy services. And we're adding about 31,000 square feet and renovating about 27,000 square feet. So a lot of great work is being done for you at your hospital, and we appreciate you. And I do want to share and thank you and the support that we have received over this past very difficult year has been of great consequence to us from our community. You have reached out, many of you have reached out to us and provided us with free meals to our staff who are struggling, free meals and free needs, and taking care of those people who are your healthcare heroes. And one of the many blessings that we've received this year is the raising up of the importance and the value of your nurses, your doctors, your therapists, your technicians, to the point that we now call them heroes, which I have known for a long time, but many times we're in the background and we're not in the foreground, and we just do what we do. So many of you have helped us out to overcome this past year in providing us with PPE, providing us with services and food to honor our heroes, and I appreciate that very much. So thank you from the bottom of our heart, and we appreciate being your hospital and healthcare provider.
Well, let's get on with the show. At this time, we'll begin our program with Mayor David Dreiling to tell us about the state of the city.
That's all you get to see is just that little bitty thing. No, that's Bobby's. Well, it's a pleasure to be here again. This makes the 6th one that I've had the opportunity to do, and I can tell you that 2020 was not the way that I had planned my last year as being mayor. There could have been a lot different things. But I would like to give you an update on where the city is, where we see it, and how great the city is doing. But before I get into that, I want to give a special thanks to people like Rich Carter and all the people up at the hospital, the way GEUS has performed, the help that the city has gotten from Hunt County, from the judge. There's a lot of people out here, but the growth of the city and the success of the city is because of you. You're the people that live here. You're the people that help do this. The city council and people like that, we're here to help guide, but we listen to what you've got to say. This is the vision that the city has been using for several years. We think it reflects a good plan and a good tribute to what our citizens want. The city council, we use this as a guide to figure out what is the best way to go and what we think should be done. We have an excellent team, and I call it a team because it takes all of these groups to work together to achieve anything. It's not one group. It's not just the Board of Development or the City Council. It's all of the groups up there that are making this happen and that's giving us the success. You'll notice up there that in the city leadership team, I identify the city staff's got 177 total years. Well, you look at that and you say, well, that's a lot of people. No, that's only 15 out of the total number of people that work in the city that provide that kind of longevity. The work the city manager has done has been spectacular. We've had a very difficult year, and she's been right on top of it, and she's developed a staff that is working very, very well. The Board of Development, COVID stopped a lot of cities from doing anything, but that has not happened in Greenville. Our president and CEO of the GBOD is so well known and has done such a great job that he is now the chairman of the state economic development group. And that gets us a lot of points, so that when companies come in and say, they come to the governor's office and they say, we're looking for a place to go. You ought to go look in Greenville. We get a lot of referrals for people to come up here to look to expand and grow their businesses. The Chamber of Commerce, they've been working hard. They're enhancing the network, and things are going well. I've been extremely fortunate for the last 6 years to have a city council that has been geared very hard towards let's help the city grow and let's make it better. I think we've done a very good job in that. These are the goals that we have set up. Each year, the city council sits down and looks at the values and listens to what people have said, and these are the items that we have identified for the last year and have worked on that. As each item comes up on the council's agenda, which identifies whether it's a resolution or an objective, one of these, at least one of these, has to be marked so that we know why we're doing that thing. I will go through each one of those briefly, but in the first one, wow, trying to read that from up there, I'm going to let you read it, but you can see that we're doing a lot to build roadways. We've had problems in the past where maybe roadways, as fast as we got them fixed, we would start developing potholes. But I do want to identify that we do have a good crop of potholes. They're growing every year. And we're working on them. But at the bottom down there, it's only taken me 6 years to get Stonewall fixed. And now it's open both ways. So congratulations, everybody. Now you can drive up and down there. My big worry is if you were in an ambulance before this all happened and somebody was going to stick a needle into your arm, with the number of bumps and everything else, I'm not sure they would hit you in the arm. We've also worked, you can see over there, Bethel Street. It was really in poor shape. We've worked hard with the council, or with the county, to come to an agreement so that we can fix it. It's been fixed, and now it's in good shape. We improved the Lee Street. The sidewalks have been fixed. We've gotten new street lamps in there, and an area up there at Terrell and Wesley, that one exit there has been terrible. That's now been fixed the way it should have been fixed a long time ago. As far as maintaining and improving the water infrastructure, water anymore is the gold. Any city that wants to come in, You look at these big towns and they're saying, hey, we're going to get 1,000 people here or 2,000 homes over here. That's all well and good, providing they get water. We have water. We're working hard to improve the infrastructure on there. You can see that our water department was recognized by TCEQ for exceptionally clean and safe drinking water. We've had that for several years in a row, and we're recognized by that. The sewer projects, you can see the number of feet and size of the pipes that have been laid. Now, it's not just a weekend project to go in and lay 500 feet of certain pipelines. That takes quite a bit of work, and they've been working very hard to get that. As far as encouraging, I'm going to turn this a little bit. It's hard to see up there. But encouraging a sense of community. Unfortunately, COVID-19 required a lot of things to be canceled because they just weren't safe, and given the governor's orders, things had to match a certain way about social distancing and wearing gloves and things like this. So unfortunately, things like this had to get canceled. And it upset a lot of people, myself included, to cancel things like the 4th of July picnic or the 4th of July fireworks and the Parade of Christmas and the Veterans Parade and things like that, things that people really enjoy going to, but we couldn't because we couldn't maintain the social distancing in order to restrict contamination. So the city is working hard. They've got a plan to try, and now that some of the restrictions and more people are vaccinated, we hope to get these all cleaned up and be able to have them in spades next time. As far as additional things, we've added a dog park over the Arnold Dog Park. The zip lines turned out to be such an exciting thing that those have been added. We fixed up the splash pad. It had gotten a little old, but we replaced the old swimming pool and put this in, and it's a lot safer for kids, and they really enjoy it. So that's been cleaned up. Over at Risy Davis, did complete remodeling in there, brought in new equipment so that people could do their workout, and it's been a very nice overhaul in there. Wright Park, we finally got it so that the golfers can get back and get out and play golf together instead of one person at a time, which never made a lot of sense to me. But the governor thought it was a good idea. And then we've done a remodeling of the library and improved the access for people to be able to get in and get the books and cater to the way the kids need to find out about what a library can do and what it offers to them. Farmers Market, you can see that there was a stage built. We had that donated, and I think the Board of Development was very big in getting that done. The white building at the top, you see it down there on the stage. It got cleaned up and painted, and now what the stage looks like. This is down in the Farmers Market, and the plan will be to be able to hold little concerts in there, have bands come out. You can get out in your chair and enjoy it, just an enjoyable evening. So now they have a place to do it. We've tried to work, and one of the things is transparency. Summer, the city manager, has held town hall meeting, and you can see the items that she discussed during that time frame. We also have the news of the week that is printed on the city webpage, and this tells you what the police department, the fire department, and what the engineering department. This tells you on a weekly basis everything that's been ongoing and what's been accomplished. As far as preparing for flexible, sustained growth, we had the comprehensive plan that was kicked off earlier in the year. The progress on that got delayed some with the COVID. It was just hard to get a lot of people together and do it safely, but that's moving forward, and we've got a good plan looking forward to the future on that. We've also worked on improving things like the water treatment out there. We put additional filters in that hadn't been replaced in years. We've got those upgraded. We have a program that there was a company that goes out, and the city has 180 miles of road. I know most of us only hit 180 potholes, but we really have 180 miles of road. They have gone out and they have surveyed every road in town. The goal is to provide to the council a structured thing that says, these are the roads that should be replaced first, these are second, these are third, and they go through a listing like that. The council has set up a transportation subcommittee to look at that. They're going to bring a proposal to the public to, instead of just a straight $2 million a year to improve roads, which when you got 180 miles of road, $2 million doesn't cover very much. So their plan is to go forward with a bigger dollar value because, one, low interest, and two, if you have a very large dollar value in there, then you get more contractors in at a better price. So the plan is to set up that and be able to accomplish a bigger carriage of fixing the roads. We've gotten the fire department. They're doing a lot of training. The police department's doing a lot of training. We continue to get new fire trucks and brush trucks. And, you know, if somebody comes to my house and my house is on fire, I want them to have the best equipment. I don't want them to have something that's horse-drawn or that's out of commission and not working. So keeping the fire department with good trucks, good facilities is important, and we've got a regular program that does that. As far as training, the Greenville Police Department continues to work with the citizens, trying to provide leadership, giving them some training, and most of all, catching the bad guys. So they're doing a good job on that. We don't have a lot of problems like we see in other cities, and they're doing a good job. Out at the airport, at the top up there is a self-refueling. So people that have their own little airplanes, up until this time, they had to call a fuel truck, come out, they only work certain hours. Well, if somebody flew in and wanted to stop here and get fuel, they had to park, they had to go and find a fuel truck, things like this. The self-service up there is just like going to the gas pump to get your car. You put your credit card in, you go out, you fuel your airplane, you put it back, and away you go. It works very well, and the price is some of the cheapest gas around. The tarmac out there, there was a lot of cracks before, and if you've got an airplane, the last thing you want is debris blowing around and flying into your engines or flying up into your fuselage or your wings. They went through and they've cleaned that up and sealed the cracks, so it's in a lot better shape. We've got plans now to where we're going to expand that. We've already got approval from the FAA and TxDOT as far as expansion on the airport, and there's money identified that we will start a program to go ahead and continue to improve that. So that's kind of what's happened in the city. Of course, everybody says, well, wait a minute, I'm paying taxes. How is the city doing financially? Well, this has been our revenue, and you can see that we're sitting a little over $26 million, and that property tax is a little bit less than what we get in sales tax, and the franchise fees and the other costs, but you can see where the main source of our revenue is. Now, it's one thing to see a picture like that, but how does that compare? There's the numbers that you can see that was in 2015. So you can see that the property tax has been dropped by 2% and that the sales tax has gone up. It would be ideal for a city that if we didn't have any property tax and all of that income came from sales tax. That way everybody's paying an equal amount instead of just some of the landowners or the property owners paying that property tax. So we've been working well, continue to maintain financial security, and we're doing well there. As far as expenditures, you can see that public safety is still the biggest user of our expenditures. You want to keep your police and your fire department current, you want to keep them trained, and you want to keep them up to force. So that's the numbers there, and how does it compare to where it was in 2015? You can see the public safety is about the same percentage, but you can see the other groups have stayed pretty much the same. So the City Council has worked hard with the city manager to ensure that we maintain a balanced budget, but the people that need it are getting it the best we can. Now, there's a lot of projects we would like to do. There's a lot of projects that are left out there to work on. Those are coming. They'll be briefed. So one of the things that the City Council has been able to do is to lower the property tax. And you can see that it's the lowest that it's been in 23 years. That's pretty fantastic. Now, this kind of highlights what's happened over the last 5 or 6 years. If you look down there at the bottom, we've cut almost 18 cents per $100 on your tax rate for your property. What that equates to is a 25.6% cut in property tax. So if you had a house that's appraised at $150,000, right now you're paying $268 less than you would have paid in 2015. So I think that's quite an achievement for a city like this. Part of that has been the growth in the city on the number of houses that we've had. When I became mayor, I found out that the city had over 300 pieces of property north of Lee Street that they had gotten through people dying off and walking off and leaving it, or not paying bills, and it's been consumed, and the city was paying on the order of $275,000 just to mow those lawns. Nobody wanted to buy the property up there, because if you take a piece of property that was worth $300, by the time the tax bills got on there, the other fees that got on there, the price for that piece of property was around $5,000 or $6,000. Well, nobody could buy it. So the council set up with the other taxing entities that we said, let's put that property up for sale, and we'll wipe all the back taxes and all the back fees and everything else, and let people get their neighborhoods back together. You can see that between the Project Restore, which transitioned into Project Direct Sales, that we've sold over 270 lots up there. And people that are active in the Meals on Wheels, they continually tell me how much they are seeing a major improvement in the north part of town. There's a lot of houses being built up there. People are taking care of their neighborhoods, so it's really a good deal. So properties that we were paying $270,000 to mow now are back on the tax rolls. So a lot of them are not at a big dollar value, but it allows the people up there to take care of their neighborhood and be proud of their neighborhood. The sales tax, when you look at the newspapers, it talks about how bad sales tax are in the state because of COVID. I think the state, the last notice I got is the state was somewhere seeing a drop in sales tax rates or value at around 5-6%. We, on the other hand, have gained to where we had a 6% increase over 2019. Now, a lot of people say, well, how did you do that? Well, it's the old adage that, honey, I want you to fix this. Well, I'll get to it when I have time. Well, if you've got a mask on, you're staying home, you've got time. So Lowe's and Home Depot got a lot of business. People used that. They were home fixing things. They weren't out spending money elsewhere. So a lot of that can contribute to that. Plus the fact people didn't want to drive out of town to do shopping, so they did a lot of their shopping here. So that's how we've grown, and that's what we've seen, so it's been a very good blessing for the city. As far as our debt service, you can see that starting in 2022 that we're going to see a big drop in the payments that we've got, and it shows up. So the debt service is going to be good. We're going to be able to do other projects, and at the price of money nowadays to be able to do additional projects, now is the time to be able to do those, because if you can get it for less than 1 cent or 1.5 cents to borrow money, it's a lot better than when you're paying 6 or 7%. GEUS. Now, they've worked hard, and this was all put together before we had the big freeze. And I'd like to identify that they set up a program to decrease their electric base rate by 6%. They've done a lot of work to reduce the fuel cost. Some of that is going to be put on hold because they don't want to raise your rates because of the added charges that were caused by the freeze. And they've worked very hard so that your rates, what you paid per kilowatt before, is the same that you're going to pay right now. So you're not going to see those, as Mr. Dickey said, you're not going to see those $9,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 electric bills. And I don't know how somebody is going to be able to pay those things. They worked very hard. They're working on smart meter system installations. And that's a matter that instead of waiting 1 month to be able to see how much electricity you've done, you go out and you see your bill, you'll be able to get a feedback that'll be on the order of 15 to 30 minutes apart. So you could actually see how much electricity your kids have been using up there when they're supposed to be studying and not be playing games. They've worked also very hard in community service hours and have spent 131 hours in doing that. But I would like to take just a minute to echo what Mr. Dickey said about the GEUS folks. The leadership that Alicia Hook provided to those people and getting a team together that was so dedicated. Think about the people, as Mr. Dickey identified. They spent the entire freeze at their station, sleeping on the floor. That means their wife and kids were home without them being there to help take care of things. They were so dedicated to ensure that you had the best and that they could provide, that they had that kind of dedication. And that's the kind of leadership that you have in the GEUS community and the dedication that we get from the people that work out there. It's very, very good. As far as growth, you can see the number of residential meters. The numbers that we have up there is the number of electric meters. So as a benchmark, I asked what was the number of residential meters, because you don't want to worry about, you've got commercial, that doesn't give you any information concerning how many people live there. Depends on the statistics that you want to use. But when I became mayor, city was listed as 26,600 people. When I got to Greenville in 1986, we were only at 21,000. So in 30 years, we only gained 5,000 people. That's not growth. So if we look at that, and we will know better probably in another few months when we get the results, I think we're sitting somewhere in the 32 to 35,000 people. I expect 5 years from now we'll be closer to 50,000. There's a lot of growth headed this way. There's a lot of residential moving this way and a lot of developers. So we're growing. In 5 years, we've grown by 8.3%. Not everything's been successful. We had the fire truck that tried to do a drive-through, and that didn't work. We had the straight line wind that some people said was a tornado, and the National Weather Service said, no, that's a straight line wind. Of course, I don't know how damaged and twisted buildings is a straight line, but they know better. So we get that in June, and then July, Muzzy's Alley catches on fire. On top of that, we had COVID-19, and then we had some restaurants that just couldn't stick around and businesses that couldn't stick around for whatever reason, and they had to close up. But we've had some successes. You can see up here that the population has grown by about 23% overall. We've sold over 270 city-owned properties. You can see almost 1,000 new homes have been added. A big cut in the city tax rate, removal of things, construction of a new fire station. We're highly recommended at all of the key places by the site survey companies that are trying to figure out a place to bring a business. They identify, go see Greenville. And we've had many new businesses and restaurants added. And I'm not going to try and read the list, but you can see the kinds of things that have been added in over the last 5 or 6 years. And that's quite a bit for a little town like Greenville. So we've seen a lot of growth, and it's been because of the work that you did in supporting the city, helping the city grow. So I see Greenville, a rapid growing city, as a place to grow, live, grow, and prosper. So I will be happy to take any questions. And Shelley, if I took more than my 30 minutes, I promise I won't do it again next year.
You're super good.
Any questions?
The microphone's right here if someone would like to come and ask him a question. No?
I would like to say thank you to all the members of the City Council that have been on there for 6 years. We've got election for 2 new council members coming up, actually 3, and it'll be a mayor's election with Mr. Ransom and Mr. Dean will be running for mayor. So you're going to see some new council members and new mayor, and that'll all happen in May. So the biggest thing that I can say is get out and vote for the person that you think can do the job right. Thank you very much.
Oh, David, have a quick question for you. Actually, one of the things I want to thank you for your service and to the community, and you've really just been an enjoyable person to know. And also, I wanted to know, have you already purchased a fishing pole, and do you have any other plans?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Hunt County Judge Bobby Stovall.
Top button? This one? Side one? That one? Okay. Well, it's great to be in Hunt County. Still Mr. Tarpley's lines. It has been a crazy year. It's been a crazy 2 years for me since I took the judge's position. Hunt County, I am so proud to be a resident of Hunt County. Some of the things that's already been said, the Rich Carter's group at the hospital has led, a great fight in helping keeping our community as safe and healthy as they can. Their people are heading the vaccination program, but you go out there, the city's there, the Greenville firefighters are giving shots. We got nurses coming from A&M Commerce Nursing School. There's the university nursing staff for their student body has been there giving shots. You got Greenville Police been there, Hunt County Sheriff's been there, Hunt County Constable's been there, Homeland Security's been there. The whole community has been out working on getting this community vaccinated, and I think it really shows what a great community we have and what great leadership and organizations we have throughout the county, from the hospital to the city to the university. It's great to see what all has happened with trying to get this vaccination done. And I'd like to thank the hospital too for aiding us through all of this. When COVID first hit, of course, we have a health department, but it's a small clinic that just gives back-to-school vaccinations for kids, and we're getting told that we've got to lead this COVID pandemic and make a lot of decisions about shutting down businesses, which we had to do for a little while, and we had to be in charge of it. Fortunately, I'm blaming it on the mayor, but the governor took all of it off of us. But we were going to make some decisions on the health of the community and all that we didn't have the expertise for. So we asked the hospital if they would help us with an advisory board. And some of the hospital staff stepped up, and doctors, and John Heatherly, and some of the nurses, along with some of our people from the county. We meet every Tuesday at lunch, and we talk about what's going on in the community and what the county can do and what they need to do to help the hospital and to stay on top of it. And I think it's been a good partnership. It's been a great partnership for the county. And Rich, I thank you and your people greatly for all that's happened here. And I think the community owes the hospital a lot too, because they've been a stand-up. And, you know, again, it's so good to be here and see faces and be out in public. And, you stay at home. We've been at home for the last year, and all of us are naturally social beings for the most part. Everybody in this room likes to be with people. I know that that's the part I miss the most probably. But you sit at home, you don't have anything to do. So I guess at my age, I sit at home and I think a lot and reflect a lot. And, I find myself thinking about the hereafter a lot. I go into a room and I think, what am I hereafter? The old people in the room will get that. They understand that. But it's been a struggle. I think it's been a struggle for all of us. And hopefully we're on the downhill side of this. I know Rich and them are still working to get some more vaccinations, and we're going to do everything we can to help them, and I know the city will, and everybody, all the other partners that are around are going to help. And with that, I'll start talking about the state of Hunt County. Hunt County, we've been through some difficult times through the years, and we've had very little growth through a number of years, and John Horn, when he was here, he fought us through some tough battles. And you'll see here on the slides in a minute, he did it with nearly no growth and very little money. And but he set the foundation to have some numbers that are I think, are pretty impressive. I think I went one too far. Yes, the populations, you can see in 2010 what the census tract said, then the projected of 15, the projected 2020, and the projected 2021. Those are off the census website. The census is not coming out till September 30th. We've been notified, so it's going to make all our entities have to scramble to get elections next year. I'm afraid the primaries of next year, my office is up. I would file in November through mid-December. I don't think we'll have, for my office it doesn't matter, but our precincts, our commissioners, I don't think we'll get all those new lines put together by then. So I don't know what the state's going to do about all our state elections, not counting. They're going to have the state legislature go back to redistrict for all of the senator and legislator districts. So it's going to still be some interesting times. But these are all, that's the projections of that. But look at these tax base numbers. From 2010 to 2015, we went up $300 million. You look at 20 to 21, we went up $800 million in tax base in 1 year. And 50% between 15 and 20. Those are staggering numbers to me. A lot of that's been driven by growth. Most of it has. Some of it's because we've been in good times and real estate prices are going up. I know a lot of people don't like their values going up on their house. They think they're paying more, but like the mayor said in his presentation, they fought to get the rates down, and we've been fighting to get our rates down also. You can look at our budgets, and with John, he had very little room in the years he was with us, to add much to the budget. He didn't have the tax base to do it, and they really had to struggle. The last couple of years have been, pretty good for us with revenue. Now, these budget numbers are strictly operating, maintenance and operation, and interest and sinking fund, our debt. It's not our total budget or total revenue. We have fees and other sources of revenue. But our sales tax is there, and to touch on what the mayor said, we can thank the Wayfair lawsuit over for all our new sales tax. That was when the state sued Wayfair for not collecting local sales tax on all these internet sales. We now get internet sales tax. So everybody sitting at home ordering from whatever online store, we get the sales tax. So we're not going to Dallas to shop and spend tax dollars over there. People are staying here. I think that's what's really happening. Our sales tax, I think the auditors told me the other day, we're nearly $1 million over budget, I think, right now. And it's because of people buying from home and getting it delivered. And there's our historical tax rate. From 10, we were at 50 cents, and about 15, it went to 53 cents. 20, we were able to go down back to 50 cents, which it was in 2010. And then in this current year budget, we dropped it to 46 cents, a little over 46 cents, which was 8.2% decrease in the tax rate. Now, some of that was done, if you remember from the slide before, some of that was done still spending more money. Our Commissioner's Court, who sets the tax rate, we made a commitment that with the times we were in and the difficulties people were having, we were going to do everything we could to not raise the taxes. And so we set our budget, and we needed more money than what the tax revenue was going to do. So we brought in nearly $2 million out of our reserve account, which is taxpayer-funded money that we'd had from previous years, and we put that into the budget so we could lower the tax rate. And having that fund balance, that's the great gift John Horn left us. Still hard for me to talk about him. He committed to try to get us on a pay-as-we-go system. That was his goal, and he got us pretty close headed that way. We're getting there. We've got $18 or $19 million fund balance, and his goal was to save up to build a new jail and pay cash. Don't know that we're going to do that anymore. That was my goal, to finish his dream and try to get us there. But with interest rates dropping so much, we just recently borrowed money at 1.47 cents for our road bonds that the public voted for. And our financial investors told us when they floated those road bonds in 2016 that it was going to affect our tax rate by 3.6 cents. Doing these bonds, which they're projecting the total issuance of all the $24 million in bonds, and so far we've only issued 12, and I think that's maybe all we're going to do under that project. Now they're saying it's going to be 1.3 cents. It's going to affect our tax rate. So our financial situation has gotten so much better, and with the interest rates being so low, we're really looking hard at whether or not to keep fighting, trying to keep the jail we got, or if we're going to build a new one and not wait to save up all the money. It may be more financially prudent to borrow the money, because we spend about $1 million a year just trying to keep that thing open. So that money alone would almost make the note payments. So lots of things have changed. So how does the growth affect Hunt County? Our biggest impact is roads. Mayor said, I think y'all have 185 miles of roads. We've got over 1,100 miles of roads. All the commissioners have over about 285 miles of roads to maintain. All our county roads are nothing more than farmers pulling back their fences. So I said this at a meeting last week. They just pull their fences back to let their neighbors get to town easier. And back in the day, they were riding horses or a wagon. And then when they got cars, they started having more fences pulled back. And when I grew up, most of the county roads were dirt. And slowly, of course, that tells my age. I know that. I'm an old man. Tarpley, you're older than me. Quit laughing. But, you know, so there's been no engineering, there's been no planning. We don't even own the right-of-way. You know, the cities, most of their streets, they have the right-of-way. They own the land underneath it. We don't own most of it. We have a prescriptive right of use, and that's all we have. We have the right to have a road there, and that's all we have. We can't widen it. We can't go beyond what we're using to maintain it unless somebody donates us the right-of-way. So it makes our road situation really tough. And then now you're throwing the growth on top of it. And the worst thing about it is now you got all these concrete trucks, all this home building going on. You got lumber trucks, and they just tear the thunder out of our roads. And then You know, a good thing that, you know, we're having our trash in the county picked up now. When I grew up, you know, you burned it or buried it. But EPA, that was the wrong thing now, particularly with as many people as we have living in the county. That's not, you know, smart to do. But in a lot of our roads, commissioners tell me they can sit out there and there'll be 3 or 4 trash trucks going down the same road, picking up trash at different houses on that road, because county doesn't have the authority to control them like the city does. The city can issue a contract and they get to control it. We don't get that authority. The difference between the city and the county, the city gets to do anything they want to that's not prohibited by law. Counties, we only get to do specifically the things they tell us we can do. So if they don't tell us we can do something, we can't do it. So it really, that's why we don't have zoning. That's why we don't have building codes. That's why we can't control garbage trucks. That's why we can't do a lot of things, because the state hasn't told us we can do that. So roads are a big challenge for us. How are we dealing with that? We're spending a lot of time on planning and money. We're working on a transportation plan to cover all our county roads. We've got to get some thoroughfares planned and figure out where this growth is going and how it's affecting us. And we need to get these roads on a map so that we can hold developers' feet to the fire and make them honor those roads. If not, when we have to go build roads, we don't want to have to go take somebody's home or a lot of people's homes so we can build a road. We're trying to plan and get in front of the growth as fast as we can. We also approved some new subdivision rules. Our old subdivision rules didn't give us as much authority as that we can get now. So we're requiring now that they have to improve the county road in front of their property. They have to clean the ditch out and get it engineered so it flows correctly. They have to clean the right of way and move their fences back and put a new surface on it. So instead of leaving something behind that's worse than it was, we're trying to make them leave something behind that's better than what it was before it was started. And then we're planning some new planning and zoning ordinances around the lake. The only authority the county has in zoning is within 5,000 feet of the take line at Lake Tawakoni. We've had that authority for decades. It's been a loose-knit group down there with hardly could ever get the board to meet. You could hardly ever get a quorum. Nobody really enforced the rules. The rules don't have really any enforcement. There's no fees for doing anything. It's kind of a mess. So Quinlan area people and the Tawakoni Chamber of Commerce and all in West Tawakoni have been asking us to help them. So we've stepped up and we're revising those planning and zoning rules now to get some fees in it and some enforcement. And between the subdivision rules and the growth, we've hired a community development director in this year's budget who's now overseeing the development of the county with the subdivision rules and be leading this planning and zoning commission. So we're trying to be proactive to get ready so that we can get a good plan to go to how to start improving our roads. And then, of course, our buildings. I've talked about that many a time. We got a historical courthouse. It'll soon be 100 years old. I think in 29 it'll be 100 years old. Being a historical courthouse, we can't move walls. We can't do anything except pretty much put it back exactly the way it is. I said here last year that we were going to replace the windows. It's going to cost about $1.5 million not to replace them. We got to take them out, repair them, clean them up, paint them, and then put them back in because they're the original windows. They have to stay there. We're going to probably put new insulated glass in it. COVID stopped that project. We couldn't have the people in the courthouse. We couldn't do the project, so that's delayed it. We've been working real hard about trying to redo the landscaping around the courthouse and done pretty good at it for the first year or so. COVID killed that this year. We use a lot of community service people to do that work. My wife and Pud Kearns and Holly Gocher help her, and they do a lot of the planning and some of the planting too. But mostly we get either trustees out of the jail or community service people to do it. That fell back because we can't use those people because of COVID. It's falling back on our maintenance people, and they're overwhelmed and trying to keep everything going. So unfortunately, our courthouse has been an embarrassment to us this year, but we're going to get that back and get it fixed right. But our buildings are overcrowded like most of the cities and all. We've got to address more office space and got a lot of planning to do along that. You know, the courts, you know, how does growth affect our courts? Well, we got more people. We got more divorces. We got more lawsuits. We got more crime. So we got to have more courts. They're telling us that probably within 5 to 10 years, they're thinking we're probably going to have another court. Now, the good news is a few good things have come out of COVID. One of them, we think because COVID, every courtroom now is using Zoom. And they're having all the Zoom hearings. And the judges had told me there was no way in the world we could ever make them do that. Now they're saying they won't ever go back. It has helped them out so much. Now, some of them, that's not 100%, but for the most part, they love it. And not only that, but we put Zoom rooms in the jail. And so where we've been hauling inmates to the courthouse in the dozens every day, in shackles and handcuffs, and setting them up in the jury rooms in the court till they're being able to be heard, which is sometime for several hours. We hope we'll never bring another inmate to the courthouse. They're going to sit in the jail on a Zoom hearing where they can watch the trial, they can hear everything's going on. The only ones that will ever be there are probably the capital murders. The capital murder has to be in the courtroom. They can't be by Zoom. Everything else they can do by Zoom. So we hope that stays that way, and we hope we get to extend having to build another courtroom at least a little bit longer. Law enforcement, I think that goes probably without saying. All this new growth, we got more roads to go down, more boots on the ground to get all of the ground covered. So we'll be having to add to law enforcement, which, you know, it's not just a person. It's all the equipment and the car and everything that goes with it. And staff. You know, every department we have is growing. Our county clerk's office is just almost to its breaking point. With all the growth, of course, they record all of our public records, all the deeds, all this real estate transactions going on. They're running out of room, and they need another person or two right now, and they don't have any place to put them. So we got a lot of challenges to deal with that. We got nearly every department, every budget year asks for another person. Most of the time we can't give it to them. It's not as much for the budget, it's because we don't have room for them. The real cost is trying to get another office for them so that they can add a person. So we got challenges with the staff. And of course, all of that leads up to the budget. And all of that costs money. And our court is committed to trying to keep our tax rate as low as we can while we're still trying to make all the improvements we can. And we're doing all these planning with these different things, trying to get our arms around it so we can have a good plan going forward to know what we can do in timely manners and what are important to do, and so we can spend the taxpayers' dollars wisely. And we're fortunate to have some good people on our court, and we're, for the most part, in total agreement on almost everything, but you wouldn't want us to agree on everything, so we don't, but we can usually work it out. And with that, I wanted to save some time for some questions. I know with the COVID stuff, a lot of people might have questions, but I didn't think GEUS, Jimmy, and where are you? Gina, or not Gina, I'm sorry. Alicia, I'm sorry, Alicia. Those two, when we had the windstorm back in June, our jail got shut down. I was about to get shut down. We had no power, and we weren't going to get power for days. And I remember calling them. I said, you know, if that jail gets over 85 degrees, I got to evacuate it. And they worked, and their team put it together, and they got us power from a different source, different loop in the system, and got us up. Saved us a lot of money and a lot of headaches. And then during this last little ice storm, you know, we were going off, and Jimmy and I talked several times during the day, and I think he talked to other people, because that temperature was going down, and it did get below what was legally able for us to keep them in there. And one of our guests in our jail family called and the state and told them it was too cold in there, and we needed to do something about it. And so they called the sheriff, and the sheriff called me, and I said, well, call them back and tell them the county judge's house is 47 degrees, and what do they think I'm going to do? You know, I can't fix my house. How am I going to fix the jail? But Jimmy had agreed. Jimmy had said that they'd been working on a plan, and if they had to, they could get us not to roll out, not be in the rolling blackouts, to keep from having to evacuate that jail, because I don't know where we'd have taken them anyway. The roads were frozen over. We probably couldn't have got a bus. So we didn't have a lot of choices but to leave them right where they were. But GEUS has been extremely good friends to the Hunt County, and we appreciate you. Now, any questions? I didn't do that good now. Somebody's got a question. If not, thank you. Thank Shelly and the chamber staff and all the volunteers today and all the sponsors. It's been a great day. Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you to the mayor and the judge. We appreciate it. Also want to thank the partners that were sponsored today. Our chamber is ready to get back to events, and we hope that you'll join us. We have our first ribbon cutting of the year next Thursday, March 18th at Caddo Creek Event Venue. Also, come by and see us every Friday, because we're going to be doing free donuts and coffee every Friday. Business Before Hours, sponsored by Family First Home Health, will be Tuesday, April 6th, and Business After Hours at Landon Winery on April 15th. If you want to know the locations and times of these events, you can get on our website at greenvillechamber.com. Before I dismiss, we are doing a giveaway from Uptown Forum and Britex Beyond. So I'm going to pull it out. You want Tracy, you want to come down here? We tried to get people's business cards in the foyer.
I take no responsibility for this.
You want to say it? No, you don't.
Oh, somebody's happy birthday. Greenville Boutique and Gifts. Luann.
What? Yes. Mm-hmm.
And just one last thing. Don't forget the bags in front of you. They've got samples of chocolates from Tom and lip balm and a coupon from Lenore Cole and a coupon for the Wind and the Willow bookstore. So thank you.
I hope everyone has an amazing day. Thank you for coming.